So I believe we've been bumping with Luke Combs so far today.
Correct.
Luke Combs, country superstar. He grew up in Charlotte, went to App State until his senior year when he decided to leave school and pursue his music career full-time, moved to Nashville. Rest is history. You're a big Luke Combs guy, aren't you, Giglio?
I enjoy Luke Combs tremendously.
So here's Luke Combs. He's going to be in Boone for College GameDay tomorrow. College GameDay is going to be there for the App State-Troy game after App State's season has gotten off to a very entertaining start. I mean, they took Carolina to the brink. Probably should have won that game, all things considered. Then went to Texas A&M, beat them, and they beat them. The score not indicative of just how much they dominated that game against the Aggies. So now they got Troy coming to town and game day. And Luke Combs got on Twitter and said, yup, I'm going to be there.
College GameDay is going to be coming up a certain mountain this Saturday for a big game, for a big team. Now, listen, you know your boy has a show in Green Bay Friday night. Unfortunately, he has a show on Saturday night as well. But the logistics were very, very difficult. But we got it put together. And I wouldn't miss it for the world. Boone, I'm going to be your guest picker on College GameDay this week. Don't even ask me who I'm picking. You know who I'm picking, baby. Boone, we'll see you up there.
He's picking the Tar Heels, right?
I wouldn't miss it for the world. Wasn't there 2 weeks ago. Look, man, I love Luke Combs. I really do. And there's plenty of App State fans on my timeline because this has been a recurring battle that I've tried to fight with them. I'm sorry. Okay, you can't root for two teams in the same state. Okay,
why?
I don't care. I don't care if App State's not any good at basketball. App State's not in the ACC. Look, man, if you want to be App State, ride or die. Okay, none of this. I like App State in these 4 months of the year, and then I like Carolina in these other 4 months of the year. No, man, no. I don't like the Red Sox for 3 months, and then I like the Yankees for 4 months.
Oh, come on. That's apples and Adderall, man.
Fine. I don't like the Steelers for the football season, then turn around like, oh man, I'm a huge Flyers fan in hockey. No, they're two teams in the same state. Pick a side, man. Pick a side. I can't handle this stuff. I don't like it.
So you strike me as somebody. Look, man, we've evolved as a society. I think it's okay to be fan fluid in certain situations.
Well, LeBron James has changed this. Gambling has changed this.
Yeah.
But you're essentially at this point. It's not like you're rooting for laundry at this point. If you're saying I love App State football, even though you know nothing about App State football, and I love Carolina basketball, even though you probably don't know anything about Carolina basketball.
Well, that's
not Luke Combs in particular.
And that's the thing. I think every situation is different here. I fundamentally disagree with your issue here.
That's fine. A man's got to live by a code, Joe. And you got to pick a side.
See,
you can't just switch sides all the time.
So he's not switching sides, though.
Yeah, he is.
How is he switching sides?
When they played 2 weeks ago, where was he? Did he rearrange his concert schedule to be there 2 weeks ago when his two favorite teams played? No, man. You gotta commit. What do you tell me all the time? You got to commit to the bit.
Yeah, well,
you got to pick a side, man.
He has committed to the bit. He's an App State football fan and a Carolina basketball fan.
Weird that he didn't show up for the Carolina game, though, in football.
Weird. Maybe he was busy on tour, man. Clearly, logistics to be. Yeah. I mean, obviously, what do you think is going to help his record sales? Being on game day or just hanging out at the?
Apparently, liking every different school in the state of North Carolina is going to help.
Jeez. Okay.
Look, I'm sure he loves Duke's women's lacrosse team too.
So the issue.
Actually, no. Carolina's kicking all kinds of butt, right?
The issue with rooting for North Carolina squads is that there's levels to this, man. There's levels to this, and I figured this out pretty quick, even though I didn't grow up here. And you should have picked up on this too, right?
Yeah, but understanding something doesn't mean it makes it right. So I'm saying pick aside.
Carolina basketball occupies a different level of fandom.
Absolutely.
Carolina basketball. Yeah. Basketball. Yeah. Straight up basketball. It has to be very specific here. Carolina,
some kind of commentary on Carolina football that it doesn't have the same kind of appeal, right?
It absolutely does.
Okay.
That's a separate conversation.
Okay.
But we have to understand that Carolina basketball in a lot of ways is like, I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. but I'm a fan of something else. I grew up in an area where we didn't have XYZ, so therefore I was a Redskins fan because they were on TV a bunch. Like, how do you get to be a Braves fan around here? Well, because they were on TBS all the time. Well, when you're growing up and Carolina basketball is kicking everybody's ass, and you're growing up in North Carolina, there's a natural gravitational pull to pull for the Tar Heels because they win a lot. It's just how fandom works. We talk about this with NC State. Nobody actively chooses to be an NC State fan.
Other than Rod Brendamore.
True. The Wolfpack life chooses you.
Yeah.
All right? You either grow up in a family that went to NC State, you went to NC State, and you gravitated towards it, right?
Do you know anyone who likes NC State football and Duke basketball?
No, I don't know anybody
NC
like
State
that.
football and Wake Forest
basketball? I don't know anybody like that.
Just someone who likes NC State baseball and Duke football?
So what do you do?
These are like those mismatched house divided things.
So you grow up rooting for Carolina basketball, but you don't go to Carolina and you end up going to another state university. This happens a ton, man.
Okay.
I know plenty of people who went to like UNC Greensboro, but they're huge Carolina basketball fans because that's what they grew up liking. Why didn't they go to Carolina? That's usually why didn't you go to Carolina then? Well, there's a couple different factors why you didn't go to Carolina. One, maybe you couldn't get into Carolina, or maybe they didn't have what you wanted to do, so you went to another school that specialized. Maybe you wanted to stay closer to home.
This isn't about going to school. This is about being in one state and picking two different teams in different seasons.
It is about what
based
school you
on
go
your
to.
whims.
No, it is about what school you go to. Because what ends up happening, you grow up a Carolina basketball fan, and then you go to App State and you fall in love with the football culture because they don't have a basketball culture there, and you end up being cool with both. Now, that doesn't exist with NC State because NC State does play both sports. Yes, you're right. It is more of an indictment on Carolina football that they don't engender the same kind of love for somebody who ends up going to another school and pulls for, like, say, App State because they went to App State. Look, man, the guy went to App State. And he probably spent a lot of time hanging out at football games.
You should be an App State fan then.
No, that's dumb. That's dumb. That's not how it works.
You're saying it's okay to pull for multiple different teams in multiple sports. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
I would love to get your dad's opinion on this, by the way.
My dad has
Your dad's a Cardinals fan, right?
My dad has...
Like when your dad grew up. Like, because there's a generational thing here. Like the people...
Let me explain my dad to you.
But just hang on. I'm the last generation. Where I don't know where you are, but I'm the last generation I'm the last generation of people who their dad basically told them, this is who you're going to be a fan of. Okay, when I was growing up in New Jersey, you were a Giants fan because your dad was a Giants fan. You were a Jets fan because your dad was a Jets fan. And you stayed Giants and Jets.
No.
No. That's what happened where I grew up,
No,
Joe.
I know what you're saying.
And that's what happened in my generation. But then free agency came.
Mm-hmm.
Then this idea of, I can root for a player because they went from team A to team B to team C. So I'm more of a fan of a player than I am of the team itself.
Did you always
as
do what
the
your parents
generations
said?
have gone?
Did you always do what your parents said?
In fandom?
Yeah.
Not that I did. I'm saying as a whole, as a rule,
yes.
Fans in the greater tri-state area, they did what their parents said. It's the same way we talk about NC State.
Sure.
You don't pick the Jets.
Sure.
The Jets pick you. Your dad tells you to, or your mom tells you to root for the Jets.
Right. I grew up in a similar situation.
But you were in Miami or you were in Florida.
So what?
Okay. You didn't have a baseball team at the time, right?
Yeah, my dad's a Cardinals fan.
Okay. But Dolphins.
Yeah. I was told to be a Dolphins fan.
Okay.
I was told to be a Cardinals fan.
Correct.
Okay. Am I? No. You know why?
I don't know if you care about the Dolphins or not.
Well, I do from a nostalgic, I grew up there perspective. Okay. But you know what I did?
Fandom changes.
You know what I did?
Yes.
You know why I'm doing what I'm doing?
No.
It's because I rebelled against my dad.
Oh.
I mean, you want to get deep on it.
That's a different episode.
That's a different episode.
Yeah.
So what I'm learning about you is you found different ways to rebel against your parents. You rebelled against your parents in some form or fashion, did you not? Or did you just do what you ever did?
But I'm talking about
No, I know what you're saying. I'm telling you, it's not generational.
Rule.
It's not generational. It's individual. I rebelled against my parents. My dad really wanted me to be an engineer. Hated the fact that I did not.
Well, that's different too.
No, it's not different, Joe. It is not different. It took my dad a really long time to accept the fact that I wasn't going to be doing some sort of computer science or engineering. Right. And it wasn't until he realized that, wait a minute, my son's got some notoriety and I can use that he started being cool with me doing what I was doing, all right? Same thing with sports fandom. I was told to be a Dolphins fan. I was told to be a Cardinals fan. I went to all sorts of games. My dad sunk all sorts of money taking me to these things. And you know what I did? I rebelled. Because that's what kids do. you were a much better son than me. That's what I'm finding out.